me help you with your vision, they losing their sight here. Time to send the world a message they might hear. Like Meek Mills, I'm making it quite clear. I'm chasing my dreams and fighting my nightmares. I'm going real hard, I'm talking words you understand, I'm talking real bars. I'm going everywhere, you know I'm talking real far. Yeah, it's time to raise a toast to this thing till I love the most. As I go from coast to coast, I'm talking north side, I'm talking south side, I'm talking east side, I'm talking west side. I'm going worldwide, I'm going worldwide, I'm going worldwide, I'm going worldwide. Yeah, it's time to let you know how I spit it when I flow. When I go and light a fuse and I set to let it blow. I'm talking worldwide, I'm going worldwide, I'm going worldwide, I'm going worldwide. Yeah, time to check my status and the GOAT is what it be. And you know I'm over 30, so my level is a G. And I may be from the hood, but I'm way beyond these streets. And my pockets hate a diet, so they always down to eat. Even though they screaming fame, and it's always spelling me. And I'll never hang it up till my mission is complete. And I'm looking at you haters, I suggest you take a seat. Cause it's all fun and games to a killer show his teeth. This is for them cats that be screaming homies. Claiming that you're real, but we know you're phony. Now I'm chillin' with my sons, they my one and only. Like the Turner brothers, yeah, we screamin' lions only. Step into this den, I welcome all who will dare. Never met a David, tell me whom shall I fear? Gotta rep the nation, black and gold is what I wear. If you look to your left, to your right, I'm everywhere. I'm talking worldwide, I'm going worldwide, I'm going worldwide, I'm going worldwide.
Roxamore Sports Live, hello and welcome to today's event. We have the one and only sport that can teach you to run away from a rabid dog. We're talking about track. It's a beautiful day. You can see the heat wave out there. If you guys are streaming this indoors, get outside because it's a beautiful day. It's bear if you're running. But these athletes are certainly not fazed by that type of heat. They wear the masks, and if you've been jogging with a mask, you know the struggle. All right. Right now, we are at the 1,600-meter relay with the boys. It's Plum and Woodland Hills going up against each other. These athletes are setting the mark, and they're off. Right now, it looks like Woodland Hills is pulling up ahead. But Plum, right there, pulling in, and they're in. It's a very proud moment for Plum High School right now. The Woodland Hills wasn't too far behind them.
K-E-E-V-E-R?
No, K-E-V-E-R. I didn't think about that. All right, coming up, we have the 400-meter relay with the boys. Any second, the pistol should be fired off. They're warming up here. They've been warming up since I got here, around 3:30. So they're all pumped up with adrenaline and perhaps a little bit of exhaustion. But motivation, she'll bring that back right to its equilibrium. So in a minute, see one of the athletes setting the mark. All of them set. They're in position. And they're off. Right there in center lane. Plum is pulling ahead, falling back a little bit. Plum still ahead. Excellent run. right. It's athletes are exhausted. Definitely been practicing this for a while, and as you know, it requires a lot of dieting and a lot of exercise on a regular. I remember when I was in track, I would run 3 miles a night, which would be very exhausting by the time you actually get to your actual event. So it's not easy. It's not easy. I mean, it looks like it's a short distance, but it requires a lot of power in each step, good judgment, and that's certainly what we've been seeing right now. Again, you can see that heat wave just really crawling across the field. It's an indicator of it being more exhaustive today than a usual spring day or this early in the season. And also can be quite dangerous. I've seen quite a few times in this sport, people pass out in about 70-degree weather. We certainly hope that's not going to be the case today, but we're anticipating for the best. No injuries, no mess. Everyone's wearing their masks. Again, it can be quite hot, even on a simple 50-degree day, but right now, their eyes are on the prize. Looks like our roster is mostly sophomores today from Plum and from Woodland Hills. At the moment, Plum High School is outnumbering the athletes from Woodland Hills. But nonetheless, Woodland Hills sent in the best. We'll be coming up into our next event here pretty shortly. And that'll be the 4x100 meter relay, which is not as bad as the 4x800 meter relay, but it's still quite exhaustive. And in this sport, fashion matters. I mean, as you would imagine any sport, but sometimes that heat is attracted to black colors. If you're wearing all black and blue, you're more likely to get a lot more heat concentrated on you, which can make it a little bit harder. Same thing with shoes. You gotta really get that good quality shoe. So we'll be having the 4x400 relay. We have our athletes, again, mostly from Plum High School, all set in line. And they're off. Plum High School pulling in ahead, but we have an athlete from Woodland Hills High School just catching up. Good formation by the athletes here. Keeping a good pace, that's what matters. It's always this last few seconds in this sport that catch people off guard. Every now and then, it's a proud moment for one athlete that's pulling ahead, and then next thing you know, that person that's been way in the back just gets a motivational boost and comes right up ahead. I'm sure you guys seen that. You guys seen that a few times in those compilation videos on YouTube. Athletes going in full beast mode. Right now, Plum is still ahead. Woodland Hills is certainly not letting down. Proud moment for this guy right here in the front from Plum. It's good formation. Like any sport, it's all about the breathing, the timing, the focus. Woodland Hills. It's behind the mop here. She's keeping up. Good pace, good pace. Up here at the back, running parallel to each other. An athlete from Woodland Hills and Plum. She's got her sunglasses on. Smart idea. Sometimes that sun can really affect your judgment. Come to think of it, I never actually really see athletes with sunglasses on too often, so that's actually something, I can't say it's a first, but maybe it is a first, for me anyways. Still keeping up. Still ahead. Plum High School. And he's got his mob right behind him. Woodland Hills still in the mix here. Back we have still running parallel to each other. Woodland Hills and Plum High School athletes running next to each other. They're keeping good form. It looks like they're slowing down just a little bit every once in a while. It's understandable, especially with all the practice they put in it prior to this event. But nonetheless, they're keeping that form. That landing really gets you sometimes. If you don't land your foot correctly, that can really ruin your whole career for a moment. All right, we got one more round coming up here. That's what the pistol indicates. Now they're picking up speed as this is the last round. Coming up here. Plum still ahead. These athletes all have something to prove. So at this point, they're really trying to prove something more to themselves, more or less, than anybody else. Excellent. Plum, first in line to finish here. And the last of the athletes are coming in here, finishing up the last lap. Stay tuned because coming up next we have the 300-meter hurdles. The 300-meter hurdles. Excellent, excellent. With focus and diligence, these last athletes are coming in here, still running, not walking, but running. So they haven't let down. This athlete from Plum running in here, more motivation than ever. We have Woodland Hills. And right behind her, Plum. Amazing. These athletes were keeping parallel to each other before, but somewhere down the line, things got a little behind. Oh, her shoes are untied. That can be quite tragic, but she's holding up pretty well. It's the last thing you would want to have happen to you. But definitely not letting it hold it back. Again, if you're watching this from indoors, please go outside. Do it on behalf of your team. This weather is just too nice to dismiss. All right. Again, we'll be coming up on our 300-meter hurdles. Pulling up here, Woodland Hills. Coming up. It is all Woodland Hills in this moment. Her lap is finished. And her lap is finished. Fabulous. Took a lot of energy. Started trailing off a little bit at the end. But now once that I see them stop, they put a lot of practice in this, so they're not going to let it go to waste. Coming up here, we have the athlete with the sunglasses coming up from Plum. She's keeping strong. She appears to be exhausted, but she's keeping strong. That's all that matters. Getting a thunderous applause from her fans here. And that's it. Fantastic. Now she has time to tie those shoes. Great work, great form from everyone. We're off to our next event. Looks like a little bit of a rain cloud is rolling in here, but I didn't see that on the forecast. It's been kind of drizzling off and on. Hopefully that won't be the case, because that just makes things much more miserable in terms of humidity and all that. All right. So we'll be having our hurdle race pretty soon. They just got to set it up. There's meanwhile, on the field, we have our long jumps here. Excellent. Landing. Another excellent landing there from Plum. clearing out the pit. Again, the footing is what matters when it comes to this particular field sport, when it comes to the jumping. Because if you land just ever so slightly incorrectly, that could be a mess for your ankle. Keeping that blood flowing, moving back and forth. Looks like just needless fidgeting around, but no, it definitely does play a big role in your performance. Keeps the body active. She's focused. She's off. Makes a jump. Nice landing. Just clearing up the pit. Woodland Hills. She's off. And she was in. Not what she had imagined. Our athletes are all just, at the moment, just taking a breather, discussing their next events. All right. Meanwhile, here on the track, we have Woodland Hills and Plum athletes on the field. This is Plum right there ahead, passing the baton on. Plum coming in here. Excellent finish. Right behind her, we have Woodland Hills.
We gotta get, hey, do me a favor. Go over and tell those girls at that table
Excuse me there. Got a little bit chapped. All right. Coming up next, it's the men's 4x1. All right. We have Woodland Hills, a Woodland Hills athlete, and Plum here, ready for the 4x1 men's relay. All right, they're off. Determination. Plum coming in here strong. Plum's still in the lead here. Pulling up ahead. Woodland Hills keeping peril. Now ahead. Plum just pulling ahead. Woodland Hills a bit behind. Now it's a 2x2. Peril running towards each other. Looks like Plum is ahead here. And it's set in stone for Plum. It's a proud moment here for Plum again. All the athletes definitely put in a lot of energy. Fantastic work, gentlemen. We'll be having our next event here shortly. Athletes just got to catch their breath here. Meanwhile, here on the field, we have some long jumping going on. At the moment, it's 2 athletes on Plum. It's getting a little bit of raindrops here. Hopefully it's just a quick little shower at us. All right, here on the field we have our athletes. They're gonna run on the track rather. Plum ahead. A moment a little bit more dramatic with this rain pouring over us a little bit. Getting drizzles anyways, drops. I suppose for the athletes on the field, it's more like a refreshing shower, but for spectators, it's nothing we want at the moment. Plum still ahead here, still running strong. Laura's getting a lot of cheers here from her, receiving that high school spirit. And there we have it. Plum in the lead. And Woodland Hills still keeping strong. It's not over until the last lap. All right. Coming up next, Now it's the 300-meter hurdles. This cloud is looking quite ominous above us. It's throwing a little bit of raindrops on us, but hopefully nothing too heavy, because no one here is prepared for that. Well, I won't say no one. I'm looking at somebody with a, looks like a titanium umbrella. I've never seen something like that before, but they're prepared. We're just the exception. All right. These athletes are prepared for many things, just not this weather at the moment. But we'll live. A little bit of rain has never hurt anybody. Actually, it really depends on what event you're talking about. But an event like this, no. And the tracks are quite what's the word I'm looking for? Built to not have rain be too slippery on the field. Just a little bit of a shade here. And if you're an athlete or you ever exercise outdoors, you know that shade can come a long way. It's can be quite refreshing, not having the sun directly down on you. All right. For athletes here. They're set. And they're off. It's a 300 hurdle. Woodland Hills just slightly behind Plum. Right there, pulling ahead. They're almost confident. About halfway there, a quarter way there rather. Plum still ahead. Woodland Hills definitely motivated, trying to get that extra energy. But Plum is well aware of that. And there we have it. Plum started in the lead and ended in the lead. All right. Well, coming up on our next event here. They're all out of breath, understandably so. It's not a short run. May look like it, but it's not. All right. We still have our hurdles up here. The rain is coming down more frequently. This next one involves a lot of agility, as much of the sport already, but requires you to really have good judgment on each jump. Good timing. About to see what these athletes have been practicing for and how they plan on executing their acumen in this type of event.
Step over to the left.
Right there. And right on the money. Roxamore Sports here, live, coming at you from Plum Hills. Not Plum Hills, I'm getting Woodland Hills confused. Plum High School. It's quite a wonderful day. A little bit of an overcast coming in right now, but it's feeling refreshing, honestly. Except for as I say that, it's pouring down a lot more now. Hopefully nothing much of a monsoon, but nonetheless, these athletes have been putting in a lot of effort and a lot of energy into the field. Looks like Plum has been kind of pulling ahead, and I assume that's mostly because they're kind of outnumbering the other athletes right now. There's a lot of Plum athletes on the field, not as much from Woodland Hills, but Woodland Hills is definitely given that energy that's needed for this sport. It's a lot of rain. Hopefully it's a quick passing, because we're not prepared for it. Again, this is Roxamore Sports Live. It's a wonderful event we're having here. So far, no slippings, no injuries, and that's the way we plan on keeping it. I'm going to get in cover right now because this rain is coming down hard. I know I said it's a nice day, get outside, but now you might want to get back inside if it's raining in your area. Listen, take whatever advice I give you with a grain of salt, all right? Just I don't always have the best judgment on things, let alone when it comes to weather. All right. Athletes are still in the field. We're not seeing any of them running for cover, but we're seeing the spectators here kind of pulling out their umbrellas. Some of them just sitting through the rain, proud. It's a bit of a refresher. I'm under good cover right now. Thank you guys for being concerned. All right, watching those bleachers clear out as the rain's coming down a little bit hard. Athletes still in the field, taking this moment to just refresh. And once this cloud passes by, it could go either one or two ways. It can either be really humid or really cool. Much cooler than it was originally. Hopefully, it'll be cooler. Because humidity in any sport can be far more exhaustive. Props to all the people that brought umbrellas and didn't trust the forecast. If anyone saw this rain coming a long way, I mean, coming from a, what's the word I'm looking for? If anyone saw this rain ahead of time, I would say now is a probably good time to play the lottery, because your predictions are pretty spot on. All right, we have our athletes here. Plum High School doing a run and jump, relay, hurdles. Excellent judgment here with each jump. So far, not a jump missed. Oh, had one knocked down. It's bound to happen. And here comes that monsoon I was worried about. All right. Just a little bit of a shower for those on the field, you know? I bet they feel really refreshed at this point in time. Got some athletes, as you see on the camera. Not athletes. We have some spectators, as you see on the camera, taking shelter here at the concession stand. All the spectators, it looks like, are now clearing out from the bleachers, except for those with the umbrella. I'm sure they're sitting there quite proud of themselves that they saw this coming. All right, shout out to the person on the bleachers making a makeshift umbrella right there. I don't know what that is in their hand. It looks like a backpack of some sort that she's using as a covering. All right, it looks like the athletes are kind of clearing out the field right now. Hopefully this rain cloud just doesn't want to hang around with us for too much longer. Looks like it's kind of clearing up here. Just a quick little shower. I'm sure the athletes appreciate it to some degree. It's a good thing this is all AstroTurf. Nothing's more annoying than having a wet field. But it's not going to play a factor in this event. We still have a few more events going on here. All right. Due to the weather, by executive order, I am going to go off air. Thank you all for tuning in with us. This is Roxamore Sports Live.
I don't know. I don't care if that's it. That's a wrap. Max, come and stand in front of the camera. We got other folks in front of it. Back in the camera. Okay, so Max, you in the middle. There you go. Take us home. We're gonna have to cut the broadcast short. Yes.
Okay. All right, everybody. Thank you for tuning in with us. This is Roxamore Sports Live. Max Kiefer here. We're going to have to cut the event. We're going to at least the recording a little bit early due to the weather. We're not really acclimated for it at this point in time because the forecast said it wasn't going to rain, and lo and behold, it's raining. All right. So, by way of order, we're going to cut our stream short. Thank you again for joining us. This is Roxamore Sports Live.